I'm Jane Applegath. Welcome to the Epic Vision Zone, where bold ideas meet extraordinary leaders. What if enlightenment wasn't about escaping life, but mastering it? And what happens when a spiritual master trades stillness for strength and enlightenment becomes a battlefield for truth? Nick Eagle is an enlightened master with the soul of a warrior and the fire of a truth seeker. He is a man who can drop into nirvana at will, yet he would rather shake you awake than gently guide you there. From the farm fields of Wisconsin to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Nick's journey defies every spiritual cliche. A star on Showtime's Gigolos, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and an acclaimed music artist and sex and confidence coach, Nick's world changed after a sudden Kundalini awakening shattered his ego and opened the doors to divine consciousness. His mission today: bring people to enlightenment through a devotion to the principles of his new book, The Golden Laws of Enlightenment. The book is an appeal to people to step up and climb mountains until there is only peace. The Enlightenment Protocols helps people operate at higher levels, defeat fear, and resist that which does not serve them. He is the founder of Eagle Vortex Sanctuary in Sedona, Arizona, a sacred center for awakening where he trains others to become spiritual warriors through yoga, meditation, enlightenment, plant ceremonies, and his signature teachings from the Golden Laws of Enlightenment. With a PhD in philosophy and mastery in Reiki and Kundalini, Nick bridges the worlds of body and spirit, discipline and surrender, reminding us that enlightenment isn't an escape from light, but a fearless dive into its depths. Today, Master Nick dedicates his life to awakening the divine warrior within all of us. Welcome, Master Nick. Thank you for joining us here today.
Beautiful intro. Honored to be here. We might have to dive into that shaking people awake. I think my PR wrote that.
Yeah.
We might have to explore that one a little bit.
Okay.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
We're honored to have you, and I actually was very curious about that statement, but it sounded good to me, given your background. So let's delve in to the Kundalini awakening. Your enlightenment came through a sudden Kundalini awakening, it says. What did that moment feel like, and how did it permanently alter the way you experience reality?
What did it feel like? So my first awakening was in 2005. That is when I vowed to do everything that I could to operate at the highest levels. I never planned on being spiritual, having a man bun, or having Kundalini awakenings. When it happened, I didn't know what they were. It was a reward, though. It was a reward for seeking truth and leaving behind fear. And when it happened, it was actually at Burning Man in 2019, and there's this beautiful structure called the Chapel of the Chimes. It was a wooden bell structure, and I just realized I didn't have my mic over here. And the structure, usually something like that wouldn't draw me as this did. There's so many things going on. There's structures shooting flames, slides you can go down, swings, stuff you can play on. And it's just a wooden bell. But for some reason, I had to go to it. And I went straight to it. I sat in and I started breathing, taking some deep breaths. I'm like, whoa, something's going on. And I sat in lotus for the first time for more than 30 seconds. And I continued the breaths. I brought my hand to prayer for the first time in my life. I was doing squeezes that I was never taught, tongue to the roof of the mouth, eyes up to the middle of the forehead, everything to activate and vibrate and stimulate the glands to enter these advanced states. Violent shaking. If I wasn't in this pose, you'd think that I was having a seizure. And for many years, I thought the shaking was energy that I was conducting or producing. And I read in a book many years later that it's actually another ancient kriya to activate the brain. And it's something I wasn't even I wasn't sure what was going on when it was happening. And at holotropic breathing, I didn't know that was a thing. I took a couple yoga classes before that, nothing Kundalini. I didn't know what it was. After it happened, I looked at my friend who was much more spiritual than me at the time. I'm like, what was that? And then he's like, I think you just had a Kundalini awakening. And I'm like, what's that? So how did it feel? It's nirvana. It's advanced samadhi. It's heaven. You enter heaven. You have all the answers. You're healed. You're healed. And it was a long journey for me, but I don't like to teach people that it has to be this long journey. That's darkness. Those are people who haven't figured some things out, who haven't made the choices to leave behind the fear and put truth above all. It can happen in an instant to anybody at any time. You operate at the highest levels and take immaculate care of this to give yourself the best chance. But all the answers are there, all of them.
Mm. It must have been something that really, like you said, you turned to your friend and said, what happened and what is that? Because, yeah, exactly.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. I know it's different for everyone, but it is quite an experience. Well, what is the biggest misconception that people have then about enlightenment, and what truth do you wish that they hear instead?
I want to explore something that you said first of how it's different for everyone.
Mm.
So I struggled greatly in my childhood. I had very young parents, little guidance, no confidence. And I lived in a state of panic. I'd wear special shirts in high school. I didn't show my sweat. I was constantly sweating. I was scared of my shadow. I was very athletic. I was really good, but when I got in front of people, I dropped the ball, literally. And because I lived in this horrendously fearful state for so long, and I was so sick of it, that first awakening in 2005, at the time I'd see confident people, and I would know that I could do that. I always knew that we were one. I'm just making different decisions. They've had different guidance. They know something I don't know. I got to figure this out. And that's why I vowed to operate at the highest levels to give me the best chance of figuring this out and making these calculations. And I always saw that. So the first awakening, I didn't run away. When you awaken, when you raise this energy, when it goes to your heart, when you start connecting, awakening is connecting, leaving the fear behind and connecting, and you become face to face with God, source, spirit, yourself, us. You become face to face with yourself. And I never ran away. So I never had the dark night of the soul or these bad experiences. A lot of social media teaches you that spiritual awakening is anxiety and depression, and no, that's because you're still choosing fear. You've become face to face, and instead of repenting, that's what awakening is. It's true repentance, taking responsibility for your creation and the energy that you bring us. And instead of doing that, you're choosing fear. And I was so sick of being scared, I let it all go. So all of my awakenings have been beautiful. And that's why I want to prepare people now, because if you're properly prepared, it doesn't have to be the dark night of the soul stuff.
That's so insightful. Thank you for sharing that, because I could see that happening. I've interviewed other individuals who have had awakenings, and they went home in fear because they didn't know what had happened. Like you said, they weren't prepared, and they were like, what the heck has just happened to me? Because they were confused. So it makes a big difference. Yeah, thank you. That does make a big difference.
I'm so happy to be this guide. I want people coming to me for this, and
Right.
any type of awakening before they work with enlightening plants. It's all the same. That fear has to go. You shouldn't be in the corner feeling bad, purging the whole night. If you have proper preparation and you're ready to leave behind that fear and take this responsibility, life is just beautiful. It's a celebration.
Right. So would you
Should be.
say then that is one of the misconceptions of enlightenment, like that people, they don't know what to expect and then they run from it, or they're expecting hallelujah. What do you feel that is a misconception that are people being taught, or that they feel enlightenment is?
So some of the teachings about enlightenment fail us because a lot of people who claim to be enlightened, they're unsure. And if you're unsure, it hasn't happened. All that. So enlightenment is all the fear is gone, truth above all. That didn't happen to me my first full chakra Kundalini awakening. It happened a little over 4 years ago when the golden laws of enlightenment came to me. That's when I let it all go and was rewarded. The stories in here, it's so beautiful what happened and everything that changed after that. Increased cities, my awareness, everything. You're when that fear is gone, you're greatly rewarded. So a lot of the people who do claim, and not that many people claim it, I was unsure if I was going to claim it to the world, but I wrote the golden laws of enlightenment, so I'm claiming it, and I own it, and I'm good with it. And I know it's perceived by so many different people though as well. But what it is all the fear is gone, truth above all. I know not everybody understands what that means, but I explain more in the book and we can go into it more as well. But a lot of the teachers out there who are teaching enlightenment practices and the yogis, a lot of them, something happened to them and they got a taste. They became face to face with God, and they didn't choose to take full responsibility, put truth above all, and leave behind all the fear. But they got a taste of it, and they brought this energy possibly up into their heart. I think that's what happened to me in my first one, because I felt this new openness and connection. And I knew what we were. I knew that we were one. We shared a soul. We didn't have separate souls. There's no separation. We were one. I saw that, and it inspired me. And then I knew for sure I could become confident. I just have to put the work in now. It's effort. It's effort. I got to take better care of this and put in the effort and go after it. So, and the worst thing about this is, yes, if you haven't done that, if you haven't left behind this fear, all of your teachings are tainted. If you're teaching that healing takes a long time or healing is so hard, that's darkness. That's darkness. Mm-hmm. You can't. How dare you decide that for someone else? You can't do that. You can't do that. You're doing it because you haven't found it yet. You haven't figured it out yet, how to leave it all behind. You haven't made that choice yet. You shouldn't be teaching if you haven't made that choice of how people should heal. And you're not there yet. You're not there yet. Keep going, though. Keep going. Few have gotten there. Few have gotten there even, where we are right now. And keep going, but you're not a teacher yet. You're teaching fear at all. You're not ready.
Right. I love
to fear
that.
God. That's everything that I battle. Most religions and Christianity, they teach you to fear God. You think God's going to reward you if you fear it? No, that's everything that I fight.
Yeah, that
I understand where it's coming from. I understand where you're trying. There is no try. What you're attempting to suggest is that there's rules, there's golden laws that you need to follow, or there's consequences. But you shouldn't fear not doing them. There should be no fear. You shouldn't fear doing something that God allows. You shouldn't fear it. It's nothing is your fault. Even when you're taking responsibility too for this and doing this true repentance, you're understanding. You're not mad at yourself anymore for doing those things. You didn't know better, but now you do. So now is your chance. Now it's your chance. When you're staring at God, that's your chance, because now you know. Now you own it, though. Own it. Decide to be courageous. Decide everything that ever happened to you made you stronger and wiser and not more broken. And it's all decisions, and own it all. This is your creation. Nothing that happened in the past is your fault. You didn't know better. Who cares? Who cares? But here forward, now you know. So own it.
Right. Make the dedication to take the journey. That's your choice. Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Nick. That was I understand. I've had yoga teachers. It's interesting that you said that, because they have experienced it once or twice and they're always trying to get back there. And that was a wonderful explanation, because you're right. You have to continue and be dedicated to the journey. It's not just one and done. It's like you said.
There's no going back and plugging in.
Right.
Everybody
Right.
who comes here, everybody I work with, everybody I give a book to, I ask that, what is gained to not be lost? When I
Mm.
integrate people after plant medicine, there's no integrating back to them. There's no plugging back in. They come to you. It's time to start bringing people up. You can hold this. You can operate at gamma brainwave states in this healing state and never be brought down. When you understand things, you're not angry at them. There's nothing to get angry about. Everything has to be how it is for this to be is the beautiful creation it is. It is perfection. And how dare you think you know better than God and this creation? Oh, accept everything. There's.
That's a lot. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're bringing up the book because that's my next question is to tell us about the book. Give us some insight into your masterpiece, The Golden Laws of Enlightenment.
So, my first book, I don't do time anymore, like 8 years maybe. Who cares? What's time? Whew. My first book was when I was Nick Hawk, and it was Nick Hawk's 100 Kicks in the Ass, A Guide to Gaining Confidence and Reaching Your Full Potential. And I was a trainer, and I was the motivator, and I was the kicky in the butt guy. I still am a little bit. And I'm still sitting with the shaking or gently. I didn't maybe a combination of those. My biggest thing is I don't welcome darkness and I don't feed and comfort darkness. That's where many shamans make the mistake, especially at a ceremony. They comfort darkness, and it's just a conjuring of darkness ceremony. I have to leave most of them early when I do them. It's not my quote on the back of my book and at my website now is, I do not welcome darkness, but I welcome you with open arms if you want me to help you leave it behind. And this is one of my most masterful teachings. And one of the golden laws is about giving deserving energy. We can't just go around hugging everybody. One day we can do this. One day it's going to be a beautiful day. We can just go around hugging everybody, but the lessons must be taught first. And if they're not, you are feeding this darkness and becoming it. I don't remember the question. Did I answer the question? The book. Oh, we're getting there. So I was the motivator. And then this book. And then Kundalini Awakening in 19. And then a little over 4 years ago, the Golden Laws of Enlightenment came to me in an ayahuasca ceremony in Costa Rica. And that's when I let it all go. And all this beautiful information came to me. And I wanted to do a book. I wrote the book immediately. I wanted to release it right away. But I did decide, I knew I wasn't quite ready to step into this guru role. And I needed to polish and sit with these teachings and what I could now access to put them together. At the beginning, I was this anti-darkness, and it's okay to hate it, to really dislike it, but it was no darkness around me, because I saw through everything, and I know that if you're feeding this, if you're allowing people to pretend that they're broken and not capable on any level, you're feeding it. And I didn't do that. I still don't do that. But now I do take a little lighter approach, and I'm not losing as many people. I lost a lot of people. I lost a lot of followers. But I took the 4 years. I bought this land in Sedona to start my awakening sanctuary. And I spent the last 4 years building everything, polishing my teachings, and putting the book together. And I'm glad I did that. I spent 1 to 16 hours just about every day for 4 years outside working. 16-hour days every day for a month doing my sacred temple with giant 8-foot boulders. A guy from town was bringing me these giant boulders. I used a bunch for the land as well. And not one time during the entire 4 years did I put in earbuds and listen to music. Yeah. So I was alone with my thoughts to put all this together. And everything is this divine now. The timing was perfect. I released this and started accepting guests at the same time, and exciting times. And I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah. I can feel that. It is exciting and it's very much needed. I mean, there really is a shift going on, and individuals like yourself, like you said, there are many that believe this, but they haven't given themselves the devotion to continue with the dedication. That being said, in your book, you talk about rigorous self-honesty. Why is truth telling to oneself the hardest and yet the most essential form of spiritual discipline?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people are teaching that truth is hard when the fact
Mm,
is lies are hard. There's nothing hard about truth. It's just you're listening to whispers of darkness. It's telling you if
mm,
you're honest in this situation, they might not like you, or you might not get the job, or you might not sell this product. Stop. It's not benefiting you in any way. You're losing so much power. The smallest lies, and the ones about yourself too. More than anything, stop lying about yourself. Stop pretending you're not capable. If you don't know, that's okay. I'm good with that. If you don't know you're all powerful and all capable yet, that's fine. But don't pretend that you can't be if you haven't been. Back to the church.
mm,
Stop pretending you can't be if you haven't been. That doesn't make sense. Some of us know. Some of us know. You don't know. You're teaching before you're ready. You haven't done that. You know, these
mm.
I see through it. I've been there. I see through it. It's all self-inflicted suffering and pain. All of it. All of it. I know what you all are. All of you. I know what you all are. Move forward. Find out. Seek and you will find. Seek, you have a guide now. I don't let people down anymore. My enlightenment protocol that's been 20 years coming is free. It's my gift to the world. Start there. Start making these improvements. And once you start seeing that you can improve, you see that, oh, did a couple of these things. I'm sleeping better now. I'm more confident. I have less anxiety. Oh, I'm smarter. My IQ is better. I'm making better calculations. I have better relationships with everybody in my life. You keep going and going and going. Once you get a taste of that, though, once you get a taste, see, I never got that taste until I vowed. And then when I started taking care of myself and seeing the improvement, nothing's more inspiring than that. Oh, maybe we're not born special and everybody has gifts and talent but me. Maybe God doesn't favor people. Maybe I was given the same tools. When you find out you have those same tools, you keep going.
Yeah, it's powerful. And I can feel it from you. So, yeah, I can feel your passion because, like you said, you've been the before and now this is the after. And this is
Yeah, I'm
because you
really
keep going.
buzzing today. Don't be surprised if one of these Kundalini activations happens. I had a podcast earlier too, and I've been buzzing all day. I had to come
Okay.
back a little bit.
I would see a
It's a
bright
beautiful
light.
thing if you witness one. We might have to take a brief pause though. But yeah, I'm buzzing right now. When I give these, I haven't thought of a better word of sermons yet, but when I go deep and I am channeling, the highest power and passing on this information, it really fuels and charges me too. And they happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel it and see it for sure, Nick. Well, thank you. So you've said that the battle isn't against darkness. You've mentioned that a couple of times that it's a darkness, but against illusion. How do we recognize when they're living in illusion, or what's the first step to breaking free?
Anybody who suffers is living in an illusion. Anybody who suffers,
Mm,
anybody who's depressed, anybody who decides to feel bad, all of them. They don't understand their power. They don't understand that it's all choices. And when you
yeah.
understand, when you understand the golden laws and creation and what this is, you're not upset about things anymore. You understand your parents didn't know better. When you understand people aren't malicious and born evil
Mhm.
or have this evil intent, when you understand things, you're not mad at things anymore. They didn't know better. That choice has to be there. That if that choice isn't there, this is nothing. This is meaningless. This isn't this beautiful experience if there's not a choice. That darkness has to be there. It should be respected, never welcomed. It doesn't have to be inside of you. It has to be an option. It has to be an option to be inside of you. It doesn't have to be inside of you. And where to start? Where I started. You vow to operate at the highest levels. You go to my enlightenment protocol, nickeaglemystic.com. You start at my enlightenment protocol. I have 100 things the average person could incorporate into their routine. Morning routine, food prep, recipes, exercise, advice, meditation, wind down routine, and sleeping. and you just keep making these improvements. And when you're seeing, we don't think, that's the problem. I remember when I used to drink alcohol and eat horribly. I never thought that not doing that would change me that much. Then I went a month without drinking alcohol. I'm like, this is what it feels like to be human? And I never went back. You don't know. You're plugged in. You're drinking alcohol every weekend. You're drinking caffeine every day. You're eating artificial processed food and poisoning yourself. You're not having the freshest waters. You're lacking minerals. You don't know. You don't think that, making a couple changes are going to affect things that much. You're going to push through. You're going to fake it in this. I'm tired and I'm hungover. I'm going to come pretend that I'm not. I haven't put in the effort. I haven't gone to the mountains to leave behind fear to gain confidence yet, but I'm going to pretend that I'm confident. Because if I make some changes, it's not going to affect that many things. Stop pretending. Stop pretending. You know that if you put in more effort into the right areas, you prioritize your life better, you understand that sleeping is a healing process. And you shouldn't wake up until you're fully healed, and you have to do it productively. You have to have so many cycles. There's very little guidance and information out there, but I have it all in this protocol. If I had this 20 years ago, that Kundalini activation might have happened, the days later or a month later, and not however many years it was.
Right. And I love that you said the protocols are in the book, right?
No. The protocols, the golden laws are in the book. Okay. To follow those, to have a deeper understanding of everything that we're talking about. The protocol is at the website, nickeaglemystic.com. That's where my protocol is.
Okay.
And I just did a beautiful Kundalini Warrior wake up movement video. I've been exploring Tai Chi, Qigong, Kundalini movements. Most of them are things that I do on my own that I can now calculate. These are the best way to detox and warm up the body. And I put together this beautiful routine that I do every morning. I highly recommend you checking that out. That's at the protocol as well on my YouTube. So good. Okay. You got to wake up and move, ground, get some sun, in the sun, nude if you can, ground and do some movements, and then channel this energy from the earth and the sun, and detox your body and move everything. That's how you wake up. You take this drug that blocks a naturally occurring molecule that gives you the impression that you're now awake, and it's just increasing your blood pressure and heart rate, and you're a zombie.
Yeah, I understand it. There's some out there that are going to say, wow, that's really out there. But I get it. Honestly, there's science.
I know. Well, I lose so many followers when I talk about the destruction of caffeine. I hate doing it, but it's horrible. No, listen, it's horrible stuff.
I interview, I have a constant interview that she's a nutritionalist. She's a kinesiologist, all kinds of things. She's incredible. She's from Australia, but she says, do not start your day with caffeine. It raises your cortisol level. It does this, it does that. She says, start it with warm water and lemon, all these things.
They did a study. People who drink coffee have a smaller pineal gland. Do you need to hear more than that? You need to hear more than that. It destroys all your glands, your adrenal glands too. It puts them into overdrive. You need to take care of these glands. The glands align with the chakras. You got to take care of those glands. And yes, the key lime juice in water is the best thing to have when you first wake up in the morning. Second best is lime juice, and third best is lemon. Lemon is fine, but key lime is best. It's one of the most. It's the most powerful. And I do that water, then I go outside and I come back in, I actually do celery juice. You get in touch and build your awareness of what this is. I treat it like ayahuasca. It's this beautiful plant. I connect with the plant spirit and hold it to my heart before I drink it, because I know what this is going to do to me is hydrate me on this cellular level, go through all the inflammation, flush out and clean all my organs. Yeah, that's part of my protocol too.
Do you make it with just water or just blend it up? The celery juice.
Juice it. Oh. Yeah, a juicer.
Juice it. Yeah,
I have the juicer. Okay. Yeah, the Omega juicer is the best one. I have that's at my protocol too. And just run it through the juicer and get a decent sized cup of that. You can do a whole stock. If you don't do it often, a stock. a bunch of it, and yeah, just run it through the juicer and drink that. That's some of the best stuff in the world.
Right.
Get in touch with that. After the golden laws came to me, and my awareness and everything increased, I could hold food, and I know what it was going to do to me now. I'd hold meat, I'd hold an apple, or a vegetable. These Kundalini activations happen when I drive back into Sedona, and they happen sometimes when I walk into the produce section of Whole Foods.
Oh.
How neat is that? Yeah. And so, I mean, I hold these foods, and I know it's fun. At a restaurant here in town too, out on the patio, there's a little vortex or something, and they all, and I just sat there again for the first time in a long time, and yeah, I had to pull it together to order. I couldn't order the first time. Yeah. So holding meat.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So holding meat, an animal product, there's good stuff in them. There's good stuff. There's minerals. Meat's some of the most nutritious stuff. I also know the bad stuff. Most people don't have the awareness of the bad stuff, not just the karmic value or the energy from a dead animal either. I'm talking about that's hard to process stuff. This is complex. Meat is complex. That doesn't go through you. It takes some time to work through. It takes a lot of energy. And it builds up some residue. It leaves stuff behind too. When you eat fruit, that's energy. Fruit and aminos. The best thing in meat is the aminos and the B12, which you can supplement as well. I take 3 aminos twice a day, and I'm still 195. I still want to lose some of this muscle. It won't go away. I've been vegan for years now, and I still stay big, eating 1 meal a day and some fruit and aminos and supplements. But you hold some fruit, and it's just clean and pure, and it's high vibrational, and it's going to be some quick and easy energy. And I know most of the science and biohackers are saying spikes your insulin and cortisol and blood sugar. And no, we process. I don't believe any of that. And that's going to come out soon too. It goes through us so clean that you can't argue that once you get in touch with these things.
Right. Well, thank you. Oh my gosh, that's so much great information. I love it. I just can see you having a Kundalini thing in the produce section of Whole Foods. It just makes me laugh. It's so funny. It could be a comedy for sure. Anyway, well,
I might do another TV show, and we might be getting some of these on camera, and they'll be good. That's a good shot. That's fun.
There's the guy with the bun again. Look out. He's coming down the produce section. Everybody's
got a man bun here, but yeah, get out of the way.
How would someone know that they need a spiritual awakening? You've mentioned a lot of the things that we need to do to keep us at our highest levels. So would they be feeling sluggish? I mean, besides the anxiety and the depression, is there anything else that people come to you and say, they might not be aware of it, but what have you seen, or what do you say to that?
Well, who doesn't need one?
That's true.
I mean, again, you got to be ready. You have to be seeking truth and wanting to leave behind fear. You have to want to become a better person. You have to decide to be courageous. You have to want it. You have to want it. So it's people who want it, but anybody who is questioning, is this life? Why do I feel like this? Am I broken? Do I have a disease? What is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Anybody who isn't enjoying this? Anybody, you should be enjoying this. All of it. Every part of it.
Right.
So I mean, who gets sick of it? I got sick of it. That's why it happened to me. So sick of it. So sick of living in the dark and fear, and see through it. See through it more than anything. I know so many of you are thinking that you can't. You can't have these awakenings. There's no way. I'm special. I was gifted. I was chosen. We're all chosen. I see through it. I know this now. I wouldn't say this. I wouldn't be so hard on people if I didn't know this. Mm-hmm. The ones going easy on you don't know. They think you're broken and capable. They're patting you on the back saying everything's going to be okay. They're lying to you. If you stay like that, it's not going to be okay. We can't do that yet. I see through it. So anybody who's this questioning is not enjoying any moment of this. It's time to keep moving forward and seek purpose. Purpose is gathering as much knowledge as possible and giving it back to as many people as possible. What's greater purpose than that? That's what we should all be doing. We should all have the goal and inspire to one day be a teacher. It doesn't have to be in your 20s or 30s or 40s, or even, we're going to be living a lot longer now, hundreds. It could be in your thousands. But I mean, that should be the goal. That's what purpose is, to be a teacher, to help people not suffer. That's what you should be acquiring. Number one, yourself. Take care of yourself first. It's out there. Stop pretending that you can't make these calculations, that, making these changes isn't going to impact your life that much. Stop pretending you can't. Go for it.
Great. Well, there's the illusion, right? People live in an illusion. I was part of a film called People versus the State of Illusion. And that was very interesting because, it's part of the illusion. But, well, speaking of illusion, what role do you believe plant intelligence plays in human awakening?
Another great segue.
Thank you. And what do you say to people who are apprehensive to use them?
You come to me, number one. You message me on social media. I send you a guide that I wrote. You start there. Then you ask me questions. I'm available. I answer all brief and respectful questions on social media. And I offer awakening sessions for $100 if you want to go deeper and really explore. I offer a free one with the book. You get the book and leave me a 5-star review on Amazon. I get a free one. #1 bestseller. Yesterday, I got it.
Congratulations.
Am I supposed to talk about that yet? We're doing a press release. No, hold that thought. That didn't happen yet. No, it's fine. It happened. Yes. Question again.
The question
I was somewhere with that.
Plant medicine.
Yes, plant medicine. You come to me. I send you a guide. Again, it's the same preparation for spiritual awakening. Same preparation. As I discussed earlier, most shaman, they play beautiful songs, give a good experience, but they welcome and conjure darkness, and they don't properly prepare you. They don't have you take responsibility. If you start talking about taking responsibility, you're going to lose customers. You got to own that. You got to own that. And I call myself a shamistic now. So I highly promote plant medicines with the right guide, not for anybody to take. And mushrooms and psychedelics, and now there's legal ways to do it all over, and I think a bunch of states it's legal now, and you can go to the jungle, and if it's part of a spiritual practice here as well, like mine, you can also use them. And I work with mushrooms and wachuma, and combo as well. And I just gave myself 11 gates last week before I did a client. Combo's a powerful medicine too. So the preparation is the same. You need to find the right people where you're really going to get a good experience out of it. Too many people go to ceremonies. They have the wrong cries. Cries are good, but the right tears. Not conjuring darkness cries, life is hard, mommy and daddy were mean, victim mentality, boo-hoo, God hates me, life is unfair. That's conjuring darkness. Those are tears you should never cry. Now, tears of ecstasy, which I cry when I have these awakenings too, they happen. When I go really deep, I have these tears too. And I kind of caught myself. I'm telling people not to cry, but I'm crying in these ceremonies. What's going on? Okay, but no, these are special tears. And I read about Shiva. When he had his experience, he cried these tears of ecstasy. I'm like, that's it. Yes, we should have these tears of ecstasy, of understanding. And I don't like calling them a release. It's still not a release. Things aren't bottled. They're all creations. It's not a release. It's knowing. There's tears of beauty and tears of understanding and tears of knowing. Now that I know what this is, and I know this, how much good is out there and what I can do and what we're capable of and where we're going, when some people suggest, and I think it's less than this. Some people say 1% of people become enlightened, leave behind the fear. All suffering's done. There's no more starving people. There's free energy. All the above, and we're good, and it's clear sailing once the teachings are there. So that's where we're going. And once you understand that and you get to these places, Those are the good tears. But it's go to a ceremony to feel bad and cry. You're not going to get anything from it. You're going to have this enlightening tool connect you with God, and you're not going to want anything to do with God. And you're gonna cry and feel bad. You're going to hear some beautiful songs and see some people singing and dancing, and it's going to be a good time. But you're not going to benefit from it if you're not repenting and taking responsibility. There's no benefit from it. You're right where you were when you began. You might have heard some beautiful songs, but you didn't do any of that work. You didn't put that work in to own it. And when these plants, they heightened everything. They increase our brain activity. They take us to these altered states where these answers are. And if you leave the fear behind, you get these answers. And then you gain, but you can't gain anything when that distraction is there. When you're still filled with fear and chaos and distraction, you're not connecting and gaining these answers or healing.
Right.
Making the good choices, making the calculations. When that's gone, you can calculate. That's the biggest thing, and it's the calculations that take you to these advanced states. You're calculating.
Yeah. They clear the pathways, more or less. Or they enlighten the connections. So I have a question now that I'm very curious about. You say that you have a UFO home, that you speak with UFOs?
Yeah.
Give us some insights into that. How do you make contact, and what is being said? Because I am very curious about this.
Yeah, this is fun stuff. So one of my guest homes is called the UF home, and it has the ET room and Bigfoot room. And there's a huge observation deck on the back of it on the corner of the property overlooking. It's all forest reserve behind me to the mountain. I have some of the most magnificent land in Sedona, and Sedona is one of the most magnificent places anywhere. So it's back at the property, and there's a huge deck on the roof where you can view the stars, and I do CE5 meditations, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. So my first time coming to Sedona, we're getting ready to go eat. I was with a client on a healing and guidance adventure in Sedona. She was getting ready. I stepped out on the porch, and I remember I'm in Sedona for the first time. It's the best I've ever felt in my life here. And I went out there in this high vibration. I looked up, and there's a craft, a seamless craft. What is that? Is it fake? A seamless craft, and I felt connected with it. And it's like I got you or you got me type of thing. That's what I felt. And I'm like, no, that's my ego. The craft isn't there for me. How dare I think that I'm something? So didn't think too. I knew nothing about it though. I didn't think my client saw it. I spoke to her recently again. I think we did an awakening session, and she told me she did see it. So I called for her. I thought it went after she came, but she came. Maybe there was a time-lapse loop or something too, but she saw it, and we saw it do what we thought was a little loop, and it was gone. Beautiful experience in Sedona. 3 weeks later, I did a jiu-jitsu tournament in San Francisco. On the drive back, I stopped at Yosemite. We did Top of the Falls Nevada hike. Again, I'm in this high vibrational, beautiful state. Driving out of there, something told me to look out the window. There's another craft there. This time it was at night, no lights anywhere, no houses, middle of nowhere. And I think it was just one light. I don't know. It was like one light, and something happened that I don't quite remember. I've read up about this. It could have been a couple different things. They possibly, connected with me, or maybe brought me on the craft and zapped me like Men in Black. There's stories of that. But something happened again, and I had no idea. And this was just prior to my Kundalini awakening too, where I'm applying all these practices to my life and increasing my vibration and leaving behind the fear. And then I discovered Dr. Stephen Greer. Have you heard of him?
No.
Okay, I highly recommend watching CE5 on Amazon. He talks about all this, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, go down that rabbit hole. I found him, and all this started making sense. He does these meditation groups where they do a meditation, increase their vibration, and make contact. I'm like, whoa. So I took his master class at the Gaia headquarters in Boulder, Colorado, and that was an amazing time. And I sat with him one other time in Phoenix. So I'm really big into this as well. I understand what's going on. And I had my greatest encounter here, the first one I did, at the deck of my sacred healing dome. And I just did another gathering not long ago. We had another amazing encounter when I was chanting and playing my shruti, and a craft came above us as well. So I'm really big into this and the contact. Be wary of people who say that they talk face to face with aliens. I don't think that happens. They can't disturb us yet. I do feel they are part of the more intelligent you become, the more loving you become, and the closer you become with angels and gods and these spirits. So when we're increasing our vibration and taking care of ourselves, we're rewarded with guidance. And, that can be interpreted. It can come from extraterrestrials, spirit, source, God, all of that. But I do feel since I was entering these higher vibrations, they were possibly able to interact with me and give me some guidance to help me do the Kundalini awakening. And but it's a reward though. I was doing the practices. Again, it's not because God favored me. I was able to, they're able to connect with us here telepathically, not one-on-one. They can't interfere like that, but I think they can contact with us telepathically to give some guidance. Bashar, have you heard of Bashar and Daryl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Daryl channels Bashar, and Bashar is one of the most brilliant brains on the planet, if not one of the most. He says things only I teach. He's very advanced, and he's there, and I do sense, and they've hooked him up. That's what I'm doing next too. I'm hooking up to an EKG to prove that I enter these states. I'm excited to do that. That's my next demonstration. I dried a sheet last winter. So they hooked him up too. So something's happening there. So I think they can contact telepathically through us to help with guidance. And that's what they're doing. They're providing much guidance for the world now. Most of the teachings. I do see Daryl in there as well, though. He is tainting some of the teachings because he hasn't released all fear yet. So many of be a little careful. He says many amazing things that align with much of what I teach in the Golden Laws, but Daryl's in there a little bit though too. I see that.
We'd have to be as aware as you are to understand where Daryl is, because he does it. He is channeling. You can tell. He just goes in a trance and starts talking when someone asks him a question. So that's very interesting. Well, if every person listening could awaken one divine quality within themselves right now, which one would you choose and why? And I don't even know if that question, I don't know, one divine quality. I'm thinking of,
it's just the more you awake, the more you grow your awareness, the more confident you become. All of those qualities amplify. Your charm, your wit, your confidence, your intelligence, IQ. The better you take care of yourself, the more you go. All of those continue to raise. But confidence is the one that you should be seeking more than anything else, and that's what led me here. That the first awakening. It was because I devoted myself because I wanted to be confident. I knew the importance of being confident, and then jumped to my master thesis where I set out to prove the importance of confidence in the spiritual journey or the awakening. I ended up titling it Mastering Confidence is the Beginning of the Spiritual Journey. And that is what I teach now. Mm-hmm. Yes, because as we talked about earlier, a lot of these teachers, they're not there yet. They haven't mastered confidence. So all their teachings are tainted with some lies about themselves, pretending that they're not capable because they haven't figured that out yet. You have to master it and to know thyself to really begin this spiritual journey. So go after it. Every chance you get. I got on every stage that presented itself in front of me. In Hollywood, I stripped. I was a stripper for a while. I had a friend who was 16 when I was 15 and couldn't talk to girls, who was stripping. The town found out. Everybody made fun of him. I envied him. I'm like, I can't talk to a girl. You're dancing in front of them. You're not just dancing in front of them. You're taking your clothes off and dance. I'm like, what? Where do you go from there? So I stripped for a while in Hollywood as well. I did improv classes. I did scene study classes. And I did TV shows and movies. I did a little stand up. I wanted to do more with the stand up, but every person I saw too, I want to talk. Any person I ever even felt the urge to talk to remotely, I went up and talked to, especially girls. Take advantage of every situation. And I drank alcohol for so long. I didn't have guidance. So I used the alcohol as a crutch, and that ruins every opportunity. I was getting on stages and stripping with the alcohol. I didn't become more confident when I did that. I lost an opportunity to, though.
Yeah. Yeah, therein lies the crutch, right? You think you're gaining confidence, but it's really not. So you have to be aware of where the confidence is coming from. Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
technically more confident on it, but no, you're not gaining any. You're losing it, if anything. You're losing it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely losing it. Because once you're off it, the confidence is gone. Yeah.
All of this, yeah, that's what. Yeah, the antidepressants, all these pills, all the nonsense that pretends that you're broken. Every time you take that, you're losing. Every time you take it, you're telling yourself you're broken.
Yes.
Oh, that's so bad. I picture kids taking those every day. They wanted to put me on them. Said I had learning disabilities, and they wanted to put me on them, and I pretended and faked my way out of them. But I hate that so much. A kid taking this pill and telling themselves, I'm broken, so I have to take this pill. This world that teaches you that you can't heal and overcome, that's everything that I fight. Everything that I fight.
Yes. And we're learning now that we can. Our bodies are intelligent and we can heal ourselves. I mean, it's like I said, is a shift happening, and it's becoming more and more in the mainstream, if you want to put it that. I don't even know if you want to call it that, but it's definitely in the
It
air.
is. It's coming.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it more too. And a lot of know what I love more than anything? I've been going after these spiritual people on social media for a long time who are the darkness comforters and, teaching you that, you're broken and you can't heal yourself. And I've been going after them a long time. I feel like I had a role in pushing them more than I'll ever get credit for, because I'm attacking every post that ever suggests that we're anything but all powerful and capable. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've lost most of my following for doing it too. But they're coming around too. I'm seeing some of them post stuff. You sounding like me a little bit. I'm like, yes, because they reach so many people. And I know just one post like that talks about taking. They didn't do that before. None of the big influencers on social media talked about taking responsibility and trauma is you. We're not quite there yet, but they're saying we're getting there. We're getting there. When I see these, I'm like, oh, I can take a breath.
You don't have to carry the world.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, give our audience where they can get in touch with you. I know you have great social media. We'll have all of this too, by the way, on the Epic Vision Zone bio pages, but just put it out there again.
Again, NickEagleMystic.com for everything. My social media. Start with the social media. Follow me on X. Follow me on Instagram. Master Nick Eagle. And start there with the teachings. Get a little warm up with the teachings. Let them sit. I know everybody who comes across my page, I've sensed their energy. Keep going with it. Keep going with it. But start with the teachings there. And then you like the teachings, go to the book. And definitely everybody explore my enlightenment protocol. All of it is at the website, NickEagleMystic.com. Social media links, book link, enlightenment protocol, a page on Kundalini with my sheet drying. I dried a wet sheet in 16-degree weather. I sat with it for 30 minutes while inducing a full chakra Kundalini awakening. I had an assistant document it. So that video is on my Kundalini page. Check that out if you want to go deep into some stuff. And yeah. What else is there? I have a welcome guide. My blog. I have an amazing blog. Go through my blog posts. Come to me if you're interested in working with plants. I'll send you that one. Say hi on social media. Interact. I accept all questions and challenges in the search of truth. In the search of truth. Not in the search of saving a world of lies that pretends you're anything but all powerful and all capable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nick, because we're here on the Epic Vision Zone, I have one last question, and that is, if your life were an epic story, which I believe it is, what would the title be?
I like that. That's
Thank you. I ask it
if
to
my
every
entire
guest.
life, summarize my entire life, and I like this too. I love being creative, and I've 50 book titles that I'm working on. One of them is why to go to the mountains, because that's the main advice that I give people. Go to the
Mm,
mountains, and I want to do a book about what that really means to go to the mountains, because that's where the answer is found, literally and figuratively. To go to the mountains, climb
mm.
mountains. Part of my protocol is climb a real mountain every 2 to 3 weeks. That's in my protocol as well. So a life of going to the mountains. How about that?
Perfect. That's perfect. It makes total sense. Well, thank you again, Master Nick, for joining us here today. And once again, for information and to connect with Master Nick, go to the Epic Vision Zone bio pages, where you will find all of his social media and direct contact information. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath. Look me up at janeapplegath.com, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Epic Vision Zone. Sending you so much love and gratitude. This is the Epic Vision Zone, the ultimate source for extraordinary transformations.